Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Well, mighty Joe, Texas Tech concluded the regular season on a 4-game losing streak, 18-13 overall, 9-9 in the Big 12. But you look at their net rankings, they're right squarely in it. But for me personally, kind of just the eye test, just the history of the tournament, before the net rankings, it was more of like an RPI type thing. This team just doesn't, like right now, with this resume right now, it doesn't seem like it's in the tournament. Where are you in regards to that? Do you think regardless of Tech's game against Texas, regardless of the outcome, that Tech is in?
Well, I'm not real confident about that, but I think if they lose a close game, if they don't just get blown out, I think they probably just slip in. Yeah. I mean, just barely.
Yeah.
But like I said, anytime you're saying something like that, barely making it in or whatever, you don't have a lot of confidence.
You're vulnerable.
Yeah, that's right.
If you lose to Texas, you leave yourself vulnerable, right?
That's right. So, I mean, with Texas Tech, it's pretty simple, Your fate is more or less in your own hands here. And look, you've had opportunity after opportunity late in the season to not even have this discussion.
Yeah.
To take care of business, and you're a lock right now. It just one win probably makes you basically a lock somewhere down the line. But you didn't get it done.
Well, you look at it, they lost 5 of 6 down the road. The only win was they destroyed Iowa State there, but they lost to Oklahoma State, then beat Iowa State, and then they had this 4-game losing streak. It gets good competition, but the teams like Oklahoma and Texas, I mean, you're going to see teams at least as good as those teams or better. And of course Baylor and Kansas, they're about as good as anybody in the country. Right. But that's who you're going to play if you want to go deep in the tournament. So, or quality teams. So that was disappointing. But, look, a lot of people around the country, not like people close to Tech or Texas necessarily, are saying this could be a play-in game. That whoever wins this first Big 12 game for both Texas Tech and Texas, which is 11:30 Central Time on Thursday in the Big 12 tournament there in Kansas City, whoever wins that is probably in. Whoever loses could be out. I would think Texas is probably out. And Texas Tech, honestly, for me, if they are losers of 5 of 6, or I guess it'd be 6 of 7, 5 in a row going into the tournament or going into Selection Sunday. To me, with just 18 wins, that just doesn't sound like a tournament team.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the team with the worst winning record to get an at-large berth, I forget what the team was, but they had a winning record of .533.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay, so that was probably one game over 500,
right.
Something like that. So it can be done, and obviously Texas Tech, with their extremely high net rating, is a very strong candidate to accomplish something like that.
Yes.
But yeah, you don't want to run that risk.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, this game is going to come down to basically who wants it more.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like it gets that simple. Like who roll the ball out, see who dives and claws for it the most.
Exactly. For a full 40 minutes. I mean, look, Texas wanted it more when these teams played just a little while ago.
Yeah. I would counter that Tech in the first game, because they were down early and clawed back. They were down 16 points in Austin to come back and win that game. So I mean, you got to tip your cap to Tech in the first game, but yeah, Texas obviously wanted that second game more than Tech did.
Yeah, they dominated the second half. And so I mean, now here's another chance. And you're playing again against another desperate Texas team.
Yeah,
they're probably even more desperate than you are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think really what it's just going to come down to basically is effort and intensity. I mean, Tech has got to either match or exceed the effort that Texas is going to give, because they've got the talent, they've got the coaching. Fan support isn't going to make a lot of difference one way or the other. It's just going to come down to which team really wants to play in the NCAA tournament and which team is content with playing in the NIT.
You get a lot at this time of year. You get a lot of these games, and it comes down to a possession here, a possession there late. And really, that's been the Achilles heel of the Red Raiders. Like we were saying, there hadn't been anything consistent with this team. Well, something has emerged, is that if it's a close game late, they seem to fold, whether it be missing shots, just turning the ball over, missing free throws, defensive laps. I mean, you name it, the things that they were doing well to get them in that position against oftentimes quality competition. Kansas and Baylor, what got them there, they stopped doing for whatever reason. Is this something where they could turn on now, Joe, or do you feel like perhaps it might be a tough mountain to climb this late in the season?
Yeah, it's probably becoming kind of a mental issue now.
Yeah.
And I think Beard in this last press conference is trying to kind of squelch that a little bit because he said, for me, the story is not Texas Tech losing close games. It's the fact that Texas Tech is so scrappy and competitive and is right in it, blah, 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 That's that sort of thing. So he said, well, if I'm writing the story that Dotson and Azubuike, they're not on the front cover, it's a picture of Moretti, that sort of thing. And he wants to control the narrative, and I understand why. But, I mean, look, scrapping and competing and being right there isn't going to get you, bupkis, basically.
No, he's in the Big 12. They're in the Big 12. He knows that. You know what I mean? Like you said, try to control the narrative.
Sure. But, look, I think in these final, I expect it to be another close game. I don't see a blowout either way for either team. So down in the final 3 minutes, you mentioned a lot of stuff. Another problem they've been having is a failure to rebound defensively.
That's been a problem.
Putbacks
a lot of the season.
all season, and boy, but it always rises up and bites you late in the game, it seems like. And against Kansas, they just couldn't get stops.
Yeah.
The final 2 minutes, I think Kansas scored 9 points. That's some of that was foul free throw. I understand. You got to play better down the stretch.
In the case against Kansas, don't get me wrong, it was right there. You could have won. Some people argue you should have won. But Kansas looked legit to me.
Okay.
They had some shot makers. They had some guys who had no problem having the ball late. They had like two. Reminded me of Tech last year. They had 2 or 3 guys who did not mind having the ball late and having it put on them. And then, of course, defensively, man, they're up there with some of the best in the country. So to me, when I saw that game, I was just like, it would have been great if Tech could have won this, but man, this Kansas team is legit. We'll see what they do in the tournament because they've had some really good teams get knocked out pretty early. So we'll see. But just in terms of seeing them twice and then seeing them play a couple other games throughout the season, I'm like, man, this is a legit Kansas team. They could win it all. You could see it, which I guess some people say no duh with them being number one. But I feel like Kansas has had some teams that their ranking may have been inflated, and perhaps rightfully so, because of all their just tremendous success throughout the years. I just don't think that's the case this year. I think they are the real deal. I'm having a hard time coming up with a weakness in seeing the Jayhawks right now.
Yeah, I mean, Beard said as long as he's been at Texas Tech, this is the best Kansas team he's seen.
I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah, that's some pretty strong stuff there.
That succinctly puts it.
Yes, it does. And yeah, I'm not seeing any vulnerabilities right now. I mean, usually a lot of times with Kansas, even when they're really, really good, something happens late in the season where you're going, I don't know. A little warning flag pops up, but there's nothing. It's just been smooth sailing right now. And they've got to be the odds-on favorite to win this Big 12 tournament if they want to win it. But if they don't, I'm not going to scratch them out of my bracket early or anything like that.
I've said this, I don't know how many years now, you and I talked about this. The conference tournament, except for teams that really need, like Tech and Texas, they're almost meaningless. I swear I feel like Beard kind of tried to get his team out of there as quickly as possible to come back, rest, and get ready for the real tournament, the NCAA tournament. He would never admit that, of course, but it's just one of my conspiracy theories. Last year against West Virginia, and then I can't remember the year before. I think they actually beat Texas and then lost in the second game. So give me a wild card. Who's a wild card who can jump up, who, like I said, one of those hungry teams that might be able to take this Big 12 tournament?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think this team necessarily. I think, look, the team that I'm talking about, the only way they're making the NCAA tournament is if they win the whole shooting match. Okay. And that's TCU.
Yeah.
And they've been playing quite strong down the stretch here, and they've knocked off some good teams. And for whatever reason, it looks like they've kind of put it all together here. And they got a guy, Desmond Bain, who's a horse, and if
gives them a puncher's chance.
Exactly. Yeah. And he can keep you in it, and then he can win it for you down the stretch as well. And there's not too many teams in the Big 12 that have somebody like that. Tech doesn't. I'm sad to say.
Well, you put Bain on Tech, man. Top 10.
Oh yeah, exactly. Beard would love that.
Yeah.
I think TCU. If you're looking for some dark horse to come up and do something crazy, that would be the team that I would pick.
All right, I'm going to put both of us. I'm going to make both of us come up and make a prediction. Who wins, Tech or Texas, on Thursday?
Well, I changed my tune on this since the last time I talked to Bradley when we did our hoop scoop. I'm afraid Tech is going to lose this one.
Yeah.
I've seen this team lose so many close games in a row and find ways to lose that I just have to think that that's going to happen again. Sorry.
Yeah, and I'd like to be put my homer cap on and say, oh, I think Tech's going to rally. And Chris Beard said he's very good in March, and he is. He has a great record in March. But then again, I keep going back to, like, if it becomes a close game, which I think it will be, do you think Texas's guys, do you think like the Ramies, the Colemans, the Jones, I mean, all three of those guys have shown they can hit shots down the stretch, and we're still searching for Tech. And even Coach Beard said he's still looking for that guy, still looking for the right plays or the playmaker, not even just the guy to put the shot up, but the guy to create the offense for them in those close moments. So it's hard for me to pick Tech in that scenario. So I hope we're both wrong, and I think we will happily eat crow if they beat Texas in the next video. But hopefully they beat Texas, and then we'll see. Who knows what goes on from there. I think they will be in the tournament if they do win at least just one game if they beat Texas. And then on Sunday we'll be talking about where they're going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. But Mighty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time.